Luca Jaspers. I'm an independent consultant, kind of independent, freelance consultant basically. And I was approached by Kees about 2 weeks ago. I was doing the session here, and basically wanted to have on VMware end-user computing products and the Citrix end-user computing products. We was kind of afraid to do the VMware part, afraid to get slaughtered here. So I stepped in and agreed.
Another victim.
I agreed to be the case's pitch for today. But then this morning, Kees received the word that he was a expert. So I'm stepping out now.
I'm doing the whole presentation by myself.
Yeah. So you and 600 others, yeah? Yeah.
Well, my name is Kees Baggerman. I'm a senior consultant for Interactions. I blog my Twitter handle, but most of you already know the Twitter handle. The reason I wanted to do this session, VMware released a couple of new suites. I saw a lot of discussions on Twitter, on the internet, about how to compare the products. And I was searching for it myself, and I thought it was a good idea to do a session about what's what and how we can compare the products. So I've got an agenda. First up is the VMware Horizon suite. An explanation of the VMware Horizon suite. What's not. And I had a comparison on products. So not on features or protocols, because protocol battle is tomorrow with Wendy and Sean. An overlay of infrastructure needed, and a conclusion. And if we have some additional time, we do a Q&A.
Yeah. VMware Horizon View. It used to be VMware View. It's been around for a while, and it's now everything's called Horizon now. It basically consists of Horizon View, just the previous View product. ThinApp, workstation, and workstation is actually only licensed in Horizon View to create your ThinApp packages, so you can't give workstation to all your end users. Underneath there's a vSphere layer, and there's vCenter. And then there are, one of the things that was in there was vShip endpoint used to be in there. vShip endpoint is the VMware firewall service, where you can create firewall rules between desktops. But since that's part of the vSphere 5.1 layer now, it's not included in this overview. The other product is a new product, Horizon Mirage. Mirage was acquired by Vanova, but we'll talk about that a little later. It also includes ThinApp. If you're hiring this week, you can still use ThinApp. For workstation, the same restrictions apply, so it can only be used to create ThinApps. But for every user, there's a Fusion Pro license included. So if you decide to use Horizon Mirage to deploy virtual desktops on the end user device, you get a Fusion license for each user. And if you decide that you'd like to do that on a Windows desktop, you can use the Fusion license to license the VMware Player product. The VMware Player product, which is just a very slimmed down version of Workstation to run a VM locally on a Windows or Linux system. Version 2.0 was only for non-commercial use, and there was some feature stripped. And if you use the Fusion license, you now have a fully functional VMware Player.
So there's a comment on the Brian Madden website about this. You can't use the VMware Player, but if you use the Fusion Pro,
yeah, you can use it. I mean, you can use encrypted access, for instance, in Player, and you can lock down a VM image in Player as well, which you can't do without the commercial license. The third product is Horizon Workspace, and Horizon Workspace is basically the aggregator. And we'll see later on. We had a couple of discussions like what should fit in which silo. Workspace is where it all comes together. You'll see that later as well. Just a quick update on what's new in View 5.2. VMware Blast, the HTML5, agentless. Blast is the HTML5 agentless protocol that in this version is only used for provisioning desktops and not for applications. But we were promised that that's in the works. No idea.
When did they promise that?
Many months ago, yeah. I saw a presentation back in 2010 where they were talking about project. Was it? Origami, yeah. That was Project Origami, and that was basically their ideas on what later turned out to be Horizon. And they had all kind of cool features and ideas, but we are basically only seeing the.
Yeah, they released it as AppLast. Anyone heard of AppLast?
Yeah.
HTML5.
That was a tech preview of AppLast during demos, and that was both applications and desktop. And currently, we only have desktop in AppLast. Unity Touch, which is a small agent in your desktop, which makes use on mobile devices a little easier. So there's some integration with the touch UI of your mobile device, so you don't play around with your mouse all the time to go to the start menu and stuff like that.
It's multi-gesture support.
Yeah,
And you need to install it separately, right?
it's in the agent, in the review agent, or for now it's in the. We have an additional kit. Not the name was again. There's a feature pack. It's in a feature pack, but it's installed in the desktop. It will be part of the review agent in the future. It doesn't support the Windows 8 gestures, unfortunately. If you want to use Windows 8 for whatever. SAML awareness or SAML integration. It uses SAML to integrate the authentication with the view desktop, but also with the on the other hand, in Horizon with the SaaS applications. Link Support Link 2013. Basically, what they did is prevent all the voice and video traffic going back and forth to the data center. So if you have a big client, you offload the voice and data to your local client.
It's like the support for Link, which Citrix released. It avoids the hairpinning.
Extensive GPU support. Basically, they call it GPU virtualization, so you can virtualize physical GPUs and share those resources among VMs. Also with the NVIDIA cards, which I think Citrix is doing as well. Windows 8 support, except for the Unity Touch, but it does work, and the View Composer, which you use to compose the floating desktops with, can now work with Windows 8. And space reclamation, which is actually a feature of vSphere 5.1. They have a new disk format, SE-sparse disks, which are for now only used by View, so you can use the link clones for persistent desktops as well. In the past, if you used link clones for persistent desktops, your Delta file kept growing.
Don't use link clones for persistent desktops. What? Don't use link clones for persistent desktops.
But the SE-sparse is better.
The SE-sparse I like for space reclamation because it solves the NTFS. Yeah, but honestly, use a full fat desktop.
If you can, I agree. You can do it. Horizon Mirage. Horizon was bought by VMware from Lenovo. It's basically a layering application, and you had another example of a product.
Unidesk.
Unidesk.
Used for layering as well, so base user apps.
It's completely different though. It's not like Unidesk at all.
No, but the idea of layering.
No.
It's not the same as Simplify, we said it before.
No. I disagree with you on that.
Okay.
It's just fundamentally different.
The Lenovo product did not have a layer for apps, for enterprise app layer. VMware basically added that. So next to the thinner product they use for deploying applications, they also have an app layer now in Mirage. This from Brian Allen's blog. It's basically VMware's physical desktop product. And the interesting part is that they have been saying for years that the physical desktop is going away. And this year they suddenly realized that 50% of the desktops is still physical, so they need to handle that. I think the main idea later on is to kind of expand that because there's not much integration for now. one of the reasons I think they bought Lenovo is because they have an interesting sync technology, which they use in the background. And VMware only had the offline mode, they had the offline desktop, which was kind of a nightmare if you only booted the VM once and you had to sync half of the VM every time. That didn't really work.
So it's supported on physical desktop only at the moment.
Now, it is also supported on virtual desktop. That's where the Fusion part comes in. So you can run a Windows desktop within Fusion or with Mirage. And the good part about Mirage, later on that more, is that you can create a base image and there's a driver layer as well. So you can deploy that base image to a virtual desktop, to a physical desktop, to VM, to whatever. You can include the drivers for your hardware platform in the layer. Horizon Workspace, from the user, that's basically the portal you log into and see everything and distribute the applications, but according to the case, it doesn't. But that's all about definitions. Workspace, and it basically aggregates the suite. It's a single point of entry for the end user. And for large platform, there's a link in Workspace to go to view. Users have access to Horizon data, their web application, SaaS, everything via their Horizon portal. And for the mobile devices, there's mobile client, and for now that's mostly for Horizon data, which we'll discuss now. The Dropbox for the enterprise that all vendors are currently working on. Horizon data, this is the project Citrix using data. And there were a lot of companies that were really interested. But it's now part of Horizon Workspace. There's no separate Horizon data product.
When you implement this, you have to migrate all your data, or the data not available.
There's for now there's view integration in the whole origami story. They also talk about Zen desktop, Zen integration. But I haven't seen it yet. Horizon Mobiles and mobile device management solution for Android. That's it. They're also working on some other stuff for iOS-based devices. Currently, you can deploy iOS applications, but it's basically a redirect to the Apple App Store. So it recommends applications from a company perspective.
And then the user install the application.
And then the user installs the application.
It's just a...
For now. The Horizon Suite, that's all three products all together. Three for the price of two, actually. Horizon View used to be licensed for named users. Mirage is used for concurrent users. Workspace is used for concurrent users. I think this is helpful. Yes. Now, Workspace is for named user as well. Mirage is for named user. And the suite is, I think these two are named. The first two are not correct. And all three products are used, licensed for named users. And that was particularly sad for the View people because they suddenly went from concurrent user to named user, and especially for call centers, that's rather expensive. There was an upgrade to 2 for 1. But as of 3 days from now, the suite is also available per concurrent user. So that will change. They introduced the product a couple of months ago and they figured out pretty quickly that that was not going to fly. Small overview of Horizon Suite. So in the center there's your core infrastructure. There's Horizon Workspace with the Horizon data on this side. As Kay said, we'll discuss that later. You can only add data to Horizon. There's no way like in Citrix where you can just point it to a share and share that data. So it's a separate store for the data. The application manager is there was a separate product. It's integrated now in desktop, and that's the piece where you entitle users to applications, where you share applications, where you give users single sign-on access to your SaaS application. The good part about that is that for ThinApp in View, you would entitle a pool of desktops two applications, and in the end we all want to entitle users to applications, and that part, the application manager is where they entitle users to applications. Horizon Mirage, as you can see here, is kind of separate. It talks to the same active infrastructure, and it can use PinApp as well to deploy applications in Horizon. And this is Horizon View, the classical view product.
So we did a comparison. I tried to list a number of services. The original concept came from Patrick, who's on Twitter as well. We made a small comparison, and I thought I could get the idea and work it out a bit more. As you can see, I've named all the services, and one that stands out, a bit is the UM part. It's ish for a reason. So we're going to talk about data now. It's funny. We're looking at the Follow Me Data solution from Citrix. Share file comes with two editions. The one from the cloud services. Go to the website, register, say how many accounts you need, and you get access to share file. It's two components. It's the control plane and the data tier. It's a storage plane. In this case, it's hosted at Amazon, and at CMP was released that there is also hosting available on Azure. There's an on-premise version as well, called Storage Hub. Same components, so we've got the control plane and the data tier, and the data tier can be local as well. With Storage Hub connectors, we can point to SIF shares and SharePoint. And with the latest release, we're able to do editing as well in the document. And this is an overview of course you'll need to open up for usage of storage.
This is an overview of Horizon Data. Actually, it's an overview of the Horizon architecture. Every data has one part. It's the gateway that couples all the services on the back. And as we said a couple of times, Horizon Data only says the NAS, but that's still not a SIF share or something like that. It's all data lives in the Horizon appliance, which poses some challenges with backup of data and stuff like that. So I think that's something they are definitely working on. It's deployed internally,
And it comes as an appliance? It comes as an
the
appliance.
whole Horizon suite is only available as virtual appliance, so you can't even come up with that with a physical software.
We did a collaboration to that as well. Most of us probably know Podio. There's an online collaboration suite which can build apps. I was just talking to a couple of guys outside, and they said they never used Podio, but there's a Podio superhero group, and it's really a crowded group. A lot of people create their own applications and create their own communities in Podio. And for other collaboration, there's the GoTo range, like GoToMeeting, GoToWebinar, GoToTraining, GoToAssist, GoToMyPC. I even saw VMware use GoToMeeting a couple of times.
One of the competitors we thought of, another one later on. VMware's they bought Social Cast a while ago. They basically their Facebook kind of Twitter project as well, VMware enterprise social media platform. There's another one which is not on the slides, which is Zimbra, acquired by VMware a couple of years ago, where they do their email and they used to do their data and stuff like that. And the idea is to integrate And if you look at Horizon Data, for instance, you have version control in Horizon Data, and you can actually make comments, and they're able to do that in either Socialcast or Zimbra. So it's a real single point collaboration.
This is installed locally on the data
It
center.
used to be in the cloud, but there's I think there's some initiatives now you can do it on premise.
All right. Application delivery. The next couple of slides probably going to bore you because you already know them. Looking at a ZNet environment, the components we need, an SQL service, data store, infrastructures, with data collectors, license services, session hosts, and the Citrix web interface for storefront. Rather not. Deployment, provisioning services are physically installed.
MCS.
For Xana.
Yeah.
Not yet, not yet.
Not yet.
That's what I'm
Xana.
Almost.
That's what we call international happy day.
Oh yes. I'm glad you're as sharp as you should be. Was in desktop, same infrastructure, data store, license server, desktop delivery controller, desktops, and a web interface storefront, deployment mechanisms, PVS, MCS, physically installed. There it is. With the new introduction, those two infrastructures, different architectures, going to move to FMA. We had the what's new, so you all know what FMA is. Xen Desktop 7, data store, license servers, and desktop delivery controllers, desktops, and session hosts, and a web interface or storefront. Deployment mechanisms, MCS, PVS, and physically installed. This is one of the points we had a discussion about because I think remote access is part of the solution. And VMware, they do have remote access, but it maybe needs a little more development. It works, yeah. So we've got the Access Gateway Enterprise, which is now NetScaler Gateway. Comes in 3 versions: VPX, MPX, SDX. VPX virtual appliance, MPX is the physical appliance, and the SDX is for NetScaler, like scaling out on a large enterprise. So it's a non-Windows appliance in the DMZ. Access application level. Like I said, physical and virtual appliances available. And it can restrict actions like current-based, copy, stuff like that. Controls access by user device or network, so it can be intelligent. Policy-based sensor response and flexible endpoint analysis. And full capability SSL VPN, which Barry has a good blog on numbers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Desktop manager, so desktop access.
Sorry?
Desktop access.
Desktop access, like physical desktop.
No, like Xen Desktop.
Yeah. It's remote. It's a complete remote access. So does ICA proxy as well?
Yeah.
Does that answer the question?
Yeah.
This is a quick overview of the view environment. Appreciate cluster, appreciate server for management. Review composer to do the link clone desktops. View connection servers, which are on the internal network. The view security server, which is unfortunately a Windows virtual machine. They have been talking about an alternative. Too long, as far as I'm concerned. They were looking into, or still on the roadmap, but no one's sure what it might be a security server that ends up in the efficient category, which is a hard Linux appliance in the DG, because this is most customers don't really like this.
So we all got used to like CSG and web interface, which is sort of like some
Yeah. We're moving away like years ago from the Windows-based stuff.
And the interesting part about Vue, when it was acquired, it was a complete Linux-based platform. Changed it to Windows, and now
The fun thing is we can still use a Netscaler gateway to connect to Vue.
I've seen that in a few designs.
yeah, you can.
I've even seen connecting over ICA to VMware Vue.
I know the customer you're talking about.
You can't say it, but
That's the way it is. The security server basically.
How much does that cost?
Nowadays, terminates 3 protocols. It does RDP over SSL, which is the solution that works most of the times because it's on 443. It does piece over IP, and that's where you have some challenges because it's on TCP UDP 4172. And especially when you're at a location where your outbound traffic is filtered, or you go through a proxy that doesn't support 4172, you can't connect to it over piece over IP. The best thing to do then was to fall back on IP over SSL. And I put that feature request in a couple of times, and they think it's a great idea.
For automatic fallback.
Automatic fallback, yeah. Now the user can choose, but you don't want the user to choose.
But-
Fallbacks pop up window say like, your experience might not be as good, but at least you can work with it.
is that really a best practice from VMware? Because
Well,
Microsoft says RDP is not suitable for a WAN connection.
there is a fallback rule. They try to do piece over IP.
Nah, it's not really optimized for a WAN connection.
Yeah, it works pretty well. Unless you do with
I don't think Microsoft says that.
They
Yeah, you could.
But still,
Yeah, but they are not doing it.
the point made is that when you try to do remote access with Vue and PC over IP, you need to add up another port, or open up another port. And if your outbound traffic is filtered, you've got a problem. So RDP over SSL is the best you can do because at least the user works. And what Duco was mentioning is he asked for a feature, or he did a feature request to do automatic fallback when the port's closed or there's no connection on the PCOAP port. It falls
If I
back
come
to
to port 4172, just
revert back to
the
RDP.
client should switch back to RDP, which should be 4 lines of code. I think another program. And the other one is he did the blast traffic, HTML5, which is also on exotic port, as you call it. Some people try to do PCORP over an SSL VPN, which kind of doesn't make sense because one of the advantages of PCORP is they use UDP just to blast screen updates to you as quickly as possible. And if you make it TCP again over an SSL VPN, because there are some SSL VPNs that do native UDP, but most people don't use those. You fall back to RDP over SSL. There's a load balancer. We had an interesting discussion on it. It's by default not included, but there's the vShield Edge virtual appliance you can use as a load balancer nowadays. And you can also use that as an SSL VPN appliance if you'd like to. That's a separate,
Or using that
separate product. Yeah. But then again, if they come up with a virtual appliance that does a security server, it would be pretty easy to make the load balancers as well. I would say it's an extra line of code. Optional vShield Edge. vShield Edge is the Edge firewall function, which does SSL and load balancer. And vShield App is basically the VNet layer firewall. Which does firewall, which you can use to do firewall between VMs. And then it's vSAT operations view is an add-on product for management and especially performance management, which is a nice product, a little more for price. Application delivery, we had a discussion on where that should be because the workspace includes integrates several functions. One of them is application delivery, and also access to your application.
Should we do a little test just to see who's right? Workspace. It aggregates data, desktops, and applications. Right. So from the cloud application to SaaS. Who thinks this is workspace aggregation? Nobody? Workspace aggregation? No? This is application delivery?
This part is, this tab.
No, it's aggregation.
It's a
Yeah.
part of the
Yeah.
application.
So I see no hands, so except for Jim.
You said the question again and I'll pay attention.
Thank you, Andrew.
That's all right. So, that looks like aggregation to me, mate.
We're talking about Workspace, which it's one portal to get the desktop, the applications and data.
Yes.
Sort of like the product Citrix has too.
That's this part.
And it's called Workspace Aggregation in Citrix World. So just wonder, is this application delivery or Workspace Aggregation?
These steps are aggregation, I think. So this applications.
I think that's
Files.
aggregation, and that's how it's touted by VMware when they do their spiel. This is your workspace aggregation.
Yeah, it's aggregation.
Across your devices, isn't it? So you can rock up with your tablet, or rock up with your phone, or rock up with your PC, and all of your files are there, and your application access is there in one web page.
Yeah, exactly. Workspace Aggregation.
But the application delivery is integrated as well. This tab, the first tab, is purely application delivery.
Yeah,
But then again,
yeah,
it has an application delivery function. Let's call it that.
Yeah, and from your phone, you've got access to your Word document. So if you were running on your tablet, you don't necessarily need to fire up Word in order to look at that document. You can look at it locally. That's their pitch, which I don't think Citrix has. I'd be tempted to say that's an aggregated thing. You can put them all together.
Yeah.
It's got all the separate components as a delivery mechanism. I don't think that's there and available. Is that right, or I missed something that you missed? So back in the day, you could make web interface show documents.
Yeah, well,
And then you can-
you've got like Zen Mobile, which can aggregate the desktops and it's a bundle right now. It's no longer called Cloud Gateway. And we see Jim with
I don't know what you're talking about.
sorry? Yeah, it's Zen Mobile Enterprise. And it's a sort of similar product.
The MAL.
Sorry?
Zen Mobile, MAL.
Yes,
But
if I was to have one URL which I could use on my tab or my laptop or my phone, I can do that with you, but I don't think there's
Workspace.
Workspace. Fair point, well made. I can't do that with Citrix today, although Citrix has all of the components.
Yeah.
Someone
you need
hasn't
the
created a
Citrix
new console and renamed something to deliver that in one suite.
one week. Yeah.
they use the receiver.
I have a question.
Yes, you need the receiver to do it.
It's messy, isn't it?
Yeah, but I've got a question
So,
here.
about integration, if you click on any application, like if you click on Word, and the Word will be presented to you, the Microsoft Word will be presented to you, can you access your data from within the application?
Hope so.
HTML5.
It's a good question.
So because if you can do that, then yes, it is integrated, and there is.
If it's on for now it's on Windows desktop only, so just Linux here. So you probably end up running that Word locally and have access to your local Horizon data share, which is running locally on
So
your.
it's not really integrated. It's not really application and data all at once, like
Not
the
yet.
iOS style, where each application is got its own data.
Okay, I think for most part that's where the challenges are to really have seamless access from each application using each protocol.
At Synergy, there was an announcement about the Citrix Windows Mobile SDK. Basically, you publish an application to any device, and if it's a mobile device, Citrix will notice it's a mobile device and convert the GUI to a mobile thingy.
Yeah, but that's something different that we're talking about.
Yeah, I think that's what they're planning on doing with Glass. So if it's a native application, you either install it as a FIDA, or you run it on a desktop, or you get it via HTML5. Just the application is HTML5 on the desktop, or on a device.
So when you open on your iPad the Word file, it will open it in your
You
application.
can't use Word on the iPad for now anyway. So.
They did it in AppLast, I was in.
Yeah, but it's not there yet. AppLess is only for the whole desktop, which is in HTML for now. But that's where they.
They showed it last year.
Yeah,
It's an event like preview.
So they bought
We need 5 more lines
2
of
years
code.
ago, and it's not.
It's used for complete desktops, and that's it.
But it-
Another big difference is right that this is hosted, right? VMware Horizon.
Now this is
That's
on-premise.
on-premise. Okay.
So this is like Zen app, and then that's the web interface where you can choose your app and something will pop up.
Yeah, it's not in here, but you could. For now, it's the thin effect get deployed, but you don't have any other means of deploying applications. Well, running it. Let's go. This is application web-based apps, thin messages. Apps on mobile devices. Currently, it's a redirect to the Apple App Store and Google Play.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Does it run on the terminal server?
What?
View.
That's
The
what
view,
we want.
you can export all. Does this only run on Windows 7 or Windows 8 stuff? Or does it
That's
also
an
run
application.
on servers?
Can you run terminal servers next to?
There's I think that's another question. I think you can start it on the terminal server, and if you allow it to install or use apps in user space, then you should be able to run those applications.
What do you mean?
No,
You mean Zen app?
If I open up an iPad,
Yeah.
I'm a hosting provider, so can I use this in my data center?
Your desktops. Your desktops can connect to a terminal server as well. Yeah.
Yeah. So the apps are delivered by thin apps, so you need the equivalent OS at the other end to run the thin apps.
Yeah.
So you know, if it's a Windows app, it will only run on a Windows device. It's just yeah.
And the idea is to use Blast in the future
To remote the
basically if it's a local device, that's Windows use the thin app. If it's not a local device, hopefully it'll fall back to Xenon 5. I'll do a feature request now.
Again, yeah. All right, application virtualization. We've got Citrix streaming here. We still have Citrix streaming.
We'll get better.
What components?
So actually, in Z.7, you can still publish the launcher and then get around it, but you know, really.
So we need optional our web interface or storefront, delivery controller, session host, or desktops, whatever you want to do. You need a license server, file server, the streaming profile to create the profile, and the streaming client, which is built in.
Come on.
So in Desktop 7, there's no longer Citrix streaming. Advice is to migrate to app feed. Period.
Thin app you have the normal thin app package. This is in the view environment where you have a thin app repository where if you configure it in the view, you can only entitle it to pools. So streaming local deployment within the view desktop or install a Windows end user device through Workspace, and if you choose the Workspace option, so I kind of think that the first version will disappear eventually, because here it's just user environment. I think that's the main reason they should go that way.
Next one is mobility and workspace aggregation. And that's something I was talking about. Components we need a storefront, an app controller, and we can aggregate the SaaS apps, the web apps, and virtual desktops together into one interface for the user.
It's not MDM.
Sorry?
It's not MDM.
No?
It's MIM. MDM doesn't work together with.
No, but I called it workspace aggregation for a reason.
Okay.
Say mobile for MDM. To manage mobile devices, White devices, follow me apps and data with a single sign-on and clientless secure remote access. So what components do I need? I need an MDM, optional is an MDM server, depending on the services I'm going to deliver. A NetScaler, because Citrix wants to sell NetScalers. And an app controller.
You only need an iPhone.
And you need an iPhone.
Right.
The rest is optional.
The rest is optional. The iPhone is mandatory. And you could add the secure mobile gateway and the SharePoint data leak prevention. The secure mobile gateway is for email, and well, the SharePoint data leak prevention says it all.
VMware is working on a mobile device plan as well. We have the mobile hypervisor for Android. We call it a hypervisor, but it's basically a way to separate your workspace from your private space. I think they talked about that back in 2009 already. They bought a French company that did that. And the first plans were to use a virtual SIM card. So they went to the telcos to separate that traffic. But the telcos didn't think that was a good idea. Then they came up with the idea to pull your personal data over the normal infrastructure and then your work data over 3G, which was not a very good idea if you didn't have any 3G coverage. So the current plan that was announced last year with the another telco is that they will solve it in a billing the traffic differently. But I haven't seen it being launched. It was announced
February 2 or 3 weeks ago, but
yeah, but it's still I
haven't seen it in a
I've
while.
seen some people play with it, but not in. But there's a dependency on the telcos.
All right. That's one of profile management. There's a universal profile management manager. It needs a store and a service on the client. Works on GPOs and INI files. And it subtracts the user setting from all and any. Pretty simple, straightforward. Good solution, Albert.
Thank you.
For everybody's wondering how it gets paid on every single Citrix license that gets sold.
I wouldn't be sitting here.
Few virtual profiles, they acquired RTO virtual profiles a while ago to basically separate profile data and folder redirection from the Windows OS and included in one server. And they use a separate file server to store that data. And one of the tricks is that as soon as the user logs in, it only gets the data that's really needed and only gets data as needed and then syncs it back to what you need.
So really, that's not UEM at all, is it?
No.
So it's not niche.
Yeah, I'm Dutch. I can say ish.
That's
You can, all it does is optimise the download time for a profile. That's it. There is nothing about UEM in that solution.
So it's foolish.
It does still have last right of wins as well.
Sorry?
It still have last right of wins as well.
User environment management. There is no user environment in that. It's not even worth an image.
All right.
Yeah. Always gets me
Those things
crossed.
not
Bit of hygiene, though.
we call it not UAM, okay?
Yeah, thank you. A little exclamation mark in front of UEM.
Not even UAM-ish. A little bit about Garage, with the different layers, it splits up the layers, and the same goes here. It separates the user data from the desktop, but there's no way to really manage it. They fall back on normal Windows user management.
This is a really clever technology, and this is something that Citrix should have bought. And I think this is what separates VMware in terms of end-user compute, device management, PC management from Citrix. Because this is really very clever.
If they can get it to work properly on a VDI solution.
No, it's not about VDI, it's about managing those desktops and laptops without necessarily changing that end environment to be a hypervisor. So you can take with Mirage a Windows XP machine, and you can make it into Windows 7. There is no technology that Citrix has available other than receiver in full screen.
I played around with it, it's kind of cool. You have a laptop with a
It is. I played around with
native
it.
Windows 7 install, you just apply a baseline image and just
It did.
deltas.
Yeah, so if you've got a remote site with laptops, you can stream out to that remote location. It's very clever. This is the really neat
The thing is that you just put the agent in.
Yeah, just put the agent in and take snapshots. So unlike Unidesk, which is doing sort of like almost VMDK stuff, this is integrating straight into your environment. You can roll back, you can roll forward. This is really clever, and Citrix has nothing like
You
it.
can replace individual layers.
Yeah, well, it's all about mobility now, but for a lot of people, it's still about laptops. And this is a great laptop management service.
The fun part is that VMware is not really focusing on this or on its
No, they've got really good technology, so a bit like Quest wandering around with the workspace.
Virtual. So, concluding, there's no real application delivery for Vue. So desktops, yes. On mobile devices, application delivery is we're still waiting on Atlas. Yeah. No real. Sorry.
in the works.
In the works, yeah. With an S.
Yeah.
No real integration or WAN optimization. Limited hosted shared desktop support, so there is support for RDS, but no support for XANA. No blind side rendering.
It used to be for Windows XP, the multimedia redirection.
Yeah.
That's gone since.
Well, this one was fun.
So having no personal VDisk is a big plus for me.
And then the last one is remote access via
The same goes for that.
So,
What
concluding.
about the cost then?
Sorry?
What about the costs of Vue? In comparison, did you make a...
No, it's a product-based head-to-head, not on costs.
So essentially, people who've got large vSphere and ELAs, they pretty much get it for free. Yeah.
But that's Vue. I don't know about the suite.
So I don't know about the Swift, but yeah, Vue and essentially with the security stuff as well, usually. But if they're so Vue and VMware are really trying to sell Vue. So if they're in a competitive situation, they'll discount like help. But I mean, about half of our customers, so more than half of our customers are Vue customers, but more than half of the seats are Zen Desktop seats.
Yeah.
So it shows you that Zen Desktop is selling much better into the larger enterprise, and Vue is selling much better into the SMB space.
No one was ever hoping for that.
But it's not a bad thing, right? I mean, they're doing very well. So, and I know it's a lot of these guys, but I have no problem with the Vue broker at all. I think it's great, and PC over IP is a great protocol as well. The advantage of UDP for a land-based stuff is amazing. So,
And it was one of our conclusions as well. I mean, we tried to compare everything, but it's hard to compare because there's a lot of discussion. There's just a little different approach. In general,
Difference level, majority of.
it's a maturity model. I mean, Citrix has a couple of miles ahead on application delivery.
And in Dutch, in English, it's comparing apples and oranges. So. Dutch is
Apples and pears.
yeah, I mean, they just suffer from the lack of anything really, because it's VDI or physical if you go into the Vue room, and if you're a Citrix customer, you're not most likely to be a Zen Desktop customer. You're most likely to be a Zen App customer.
Right. Thank you.
Last slide.
Not great. It's up to you. So thank you.
Thanks.